Imagine a warrior, a soldier so fearsome, so disciplined, that the very mention of his name struck terror into the hearts of entire empires. These warriors weren't just trained to fight, they were bred to be perfect. Their entire society, their entire existence, was built around the art of war. Today, we're talking about the Spartans, arguably the most elite warriors to ever walk the earth. But what exactly makes a warrior elite? Strength? Skill? Mentality? The Spartans had all of this in spades, and more. They were the ultimate fighting force, their legacy echoing through the centuries as a model of unwavering discipline and unmatched fighting ability. So how did they achieve this? What made them so formidable? Welcome to Elite Warriors, where we'll break down exactly why the Spartans were the most elite warriors to ever live. From their brutal training to their world-changing tactics, we're about to uncover the secret behind their unmatched excellence. Are you ready? Let's dive in. To understand what made the Spartans the most elite warriors, we must first examine their society. Sparta wasn't just a city, it was a warrior state. Everything in Spartan life, from their laws to their education system, was designed to produce the perfect soldier. Unlike other Greek city-states, which had a focus on art, philosophy, and trade, Sparta's entire way of life was centered around preparing for war. From the moment a Spartan child was born, their destiny was sealed. The elders of Sparta would inspect newborns, and if a baby showed signs of weakness or imperfection, they were abandoned to die. Only the strongest survived. This brutal practice was the first step in what was known as the Agoge, the state-run education and training system that every Spartan male would go through. From the age of 7, boys were taken from their families and placed into this rigorous training system. They were taught how to fight, how to endure physical pain, how to survive on minimal resources, and most importantly, how to never show fear. The Agoge was not for the faint of heart. It was designed to break a person down so they could be remade into a Spartan warrior. This education system focused on both physical and mental toughness, forcing boys to endure hardship and pain that would make even the toughest men today shudder. But it was this that turned them into warriors who were capable of anything. The Agoge's curriculum was intense. Every Spartan boy had to endure extreme physical exertion, long runs, wrestling matches, and intense combat training. They were taught to fight with weapons like spears, swords, and shields, but their training didn't stop there. Spartan boys were also trained in survival tactics. They were taught to go hungry, to live in the harshest conditions, to never complain, and to thrive despite the adversity they faced. But the most important lesson of all? Loyalty. In Sparta, a soldier was not an individual. He was part of a team. The bond of unity was drilled into their minds. In battle, Spartans fought not for personal glory, but for the survival of the phalanx, the collective. This sense of duty was critical for their success. The idea that a single soldier could bring down an entire army was foreign to the Spartans. They believed in discipline over self-interest, and this was instilled in them from their earliest days. The phalanx, the iconic battle formation that defined Spartan warfare. But how did it work? And why was it so effective? To understand this, we need to dive deeper into Spartan battle strategy and the formation that made them nearly invincible. The phalanx was a mass formation of tightly packed soldiers, usually 8 ranks deep, with shields locked together. The front lines of the phalanx were made up of heavy infantry wielding spears, while the rear lines were armed with longer spears to support the front. What made the Spartan phalanx so devastating wasn't just the size or strength of the soldiers, but their discipline. Every Spartan knew his role in the formation. There were no lone heroes here. Each warrior knew that their success was dependent on the man next to them. When the Spartans locked shields and formed their line, it was nearly impossible to break. The phalanx was a moving wall, and no amount of force could shatter it if every Spartan did their part. The Spartans were not just fighting to survive, they were fighting as a unit, and the strength of that unit was what made them unstoppable. Spartans were more than just fierce warriors, they were the living embodiment of discipline. While most societies prized individualism, the Spartans understood that personal sacrifice was essential for the greater good. A Spartan warrior's life was focused on service to his city-state and his comrades. Their entire existence was centered on one goal: warfare. There was no room for luxury, no room for indulgence. A Spartan's life was one of routine, sacrifice, and constant preparation for the next battle. They ate simple meals, wore minimal clothing, and lived in austere conditions. The true essence of the Spartan warrior code was their relentless commitment to excellence, their refusal to ever show weakness, and their unquestioning loyalty to the state and to each other. Even Spartan mothers adhered to this code. When a Spartan son left for battle, his mother's parting words were famous: "Come back with your shield, or on it." This powerful statement wasn't just about fighting for glory. It was about survival, unity, and honor. In Sparta, losing wasn't an option. Let's take a closer look at some of the defining battles that cemented the Spartans as the most elite warriors in history. The Battle of Thermopylae. In 480 BC, King Leonidas of Sparta, along with just 300 of his elite warriors, stood against the vast Persian Empire. an army numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Despite overwhelming odds, the Spartans fought valiantly, holding their ground for 3 days. Their courage, discipline, and the strength of their phalanx gave the Greek forces time to prepare for the Persian onslaught. The battle ended in a heroic last stand, but it was a pivotal moment in history. It proved that a small force of elite warriors, when properly trained and united, could stand against the might of an empire. While the Spartans were known for their bravery at Thermopylae, their military prowess extended beyond that. In the Peloponnesian War, Sparta's disciplined forces faced off against Athens, the powerhouse of the Greek world. And once again, Spartan training, unity, and strategy turned the tide of war. The Spartan legacy endures. While the city-state of Sparta eventually fell, its reputation as the ultimate warrior society lives on. From modern military training to the imagery of Spartan warriors in popular culture, their ideals of strength, discipline, and sacrifice continue to inspire. In fact, many modern military institutions, especially special forces and elite units, look to Spartan warrior culture as a model for training. The idea of teamwork, of pushing the body and mind to their limits, and of embracing sacrifice all stem from Spartan principles. Beyond the battlefield, Spartans are now symbols of honor, courage, and strength in pop culture. From movies like 300 to video games and literature, the Spartan ideal has become synonymous with elite warrior status. So, are Spartans the most elite warriors ever? The evidence is undeniable. Their rigorous training, unmatched discipline, and unyielding commitment to unity and honor made them the ultimate fighting force in the ancient world. Their story is a reminder that true greatness comes not from the individual but from the collective, the elite fighting together as one. Thank you for joining us in this journey through Spartan history. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on the world's most elite warriors. Until next time, remember, warriors aren't just born, they're made.